if there is anywhere else you need to be, because this is just, you know, what we have today. Tomorrow, as and when trends start coming in, where constituencies, seats, regions, players, all of that, you're going to get right here as we slice that data and load it in our election intelligence dashboard. So take a look in terms of the VIPs who are in the fray where it comes down. Let's go to all phases there. And the VIPs, the big ticket players in the fray. And as Maria just pointed out, right on top, Tejasvi Yadav. Nitish Kumar is not contesting, but Tejasvi Yadav is, and his fate lies in Raghopur. Many had contemplated that Tejasvi could very well be fighting on 2 seats. That didn't happen because that would have been terrible optics and messaging. So he's gone all in where Raghopur is concerned. Someone who was spoken so much of was Samrat Choudhary, Deputy Chief Minister of the state of Bihar. For 15 years, he hasn't fought a state election. He's a sitting MLC, never fought an election from Tarapur, but that's his family constituency. He's someone who's come under heavy attack, especially from Prashant, Kishor, where his educational qualifications are concerned. So a lot hangs in balance where Samrat Choudhary is there. I actually did travel to Munger, Tarapur, and it's a tough contest. Not that it's easy for Tejasvi as well, but tough contest where Samrat Choudhary is concerned. Vijay Kumar Sinha, Lakhisarai, another Deputy Chief Minister of the BJP. All eyes will be on that seat because if you remember, you know, this was where violence was witnessed. Vijay Kumar Sinha had complained that his car was attacked by miscreants who he said came in from the RJD. They threw cow dung at him. So a bit of a fracas there. Maithili Thakur, Alinagar, Muzaffarpur is where Maithili Thakur is testing her fate. A big, you know, a folk artist on
Alinagar
a BJP ticket.
Preeti.
Darbhanga, yes, you're right. Maithili Thakur, Alinagar, Darbhanga, testing her fate. Most important, and I thought important in the sense of optics, who's actually done more sabhas than even Tejasvi.
Yes, Khesari Lal
is
Yadav.
Khesari Lal Yadav. He's standing from Chhapra. Right now, Chhapra is with the BJP, and he's hoping to wrest back Chhapra for the RJD, which is the legacy of Lalu Yadav. So, and you know, it's interesting because not very far from where we are standing in Noida, Khesari Lal Yadav used to actually sell litti chokha till he became this huge Bhojpuri sensation, and now on an RJD ticket to reclaim Chhapra for the party. Lots of other big ticket players like you see on your television screen. Of course, Tej Pratap Yadav, who started his own political outfit, contesting their Mahua from Mahua. Again, it's a seat which has been contested very tightly and a tight contest there. But Javed, to bring you in and maybe reflect on Chhapra, because this is practically where Lalu Yadav, you know, cut his teeth, built his bones, earned his spurs, and today lies with the BJP. He would be hoping that Khesari Lal Yadav would be able to wrest that back from the BJP.
Yeah, so it's an audacious gamble. They've tried to get this the star, the so-called star of Bhojpuri music, to come and try and take a shot at that seat. This used to be once Lalu's stronghold, which now Mr.
Rajiv
Pratap Rudy has wrested. And Rajiv Pratap Rudy is a 7-time MP. Yesterday, when I asked him, I was, you know, so if somebody like him or Ravi Shankar Prasad, it's not as if the BJP is spoiled for riches in Bihar.
The other one, you know, Maria, because, you know, you've interviewed Tejasvi Yadav twice. Raghopur, there was, earlier on, there was a sense that maybe he'll fight from not 1 but 2 constituencies, but he went all in with 1 because it would have been terrible optics otherwise.
And also that he had to campaign across the state. He is the star campaigner and perhaps the only vote catcher for the entire Mahagathbandhan. So come in on this, Rajdeep. You know, the thing was that could Tejasvi have contested from 2 seats? That did not happen. He concentrated on Raghopur. This is a seat which his father has won in the past, represented by his mother as well in the past. So it goes with quite literally the definition of a family bastion. When we talk about Tejasvi and his campaign, 2020, great degree of energy, very fresh campaign. Now in 2025, what do you think Tejasvi misses in this election?
Look, first of all, Tejasvi Yadav is a pretty energetic campaigner. I saw his rally in Raghopur. It was delayed by about 4 hours because of the rain. and yet there were thousands of people there to listen to him. Raghopur is a family fortress just outside Patna, and the road to Raghopur is not an easy one. But I also recall when Rabri Devi was chief minister, there was only a pontoon bridge, and it was even more difficult to reach Raghopur, even though it's just 30-40 kilometers away from Patna. It's easier now, but there are still lots of potholes. But let's be clear, Tejasvi Yadav, energetic campaigner that he is, has not been able to effect, I believe, a moral and ideological shift in the RJD, and he doesn't convey the softness that an Akhilesh Yadav does. I saw an interesting article today which suggested that Akhilesh Yadav and Dimple Yadav as a couple have been able to soften some of the rough edges of the Samajwadi Party and thereby become more attractive to a wider audience. Tejasvi has not been able to do that, partly because he's never become chief minister. He's only been deputy chief minister. If he was chief minister, he could then perhaps actually move out of Lalu Prasad's shadow. 2020, he had a clear communication. 10 lakh jobs, 10 lakh naukriya. Wherever he went, he spoke of that. Sometimes in politics, you need to have a single message because that then registers right down the line. This time, I think there were mixed messages. For about a fortnight, Tejasvi was accompanying Rahul Gandhi almost as a pillion rider on SIR. Then for 40 days, there was silence. Then he comes up with his ideas, whether they are one job per family. By then, the BJP has already brought in its 10,000 rupees for women. Right. So then you believe that Tejasvi is reacting. I think in 2020, he set the agenda with making Rozgar the centerpiece. In 2025, he's not been able to do that as successfully. But I will say this, he's a very, very energetic campaigner. There were days he did 15 to 17 rallies.
That's
right. The problem is
towards the
RJD
end.
has no
Towards
other leaders. Who are the other
Rajdeep,
leaders of the RJD?
Yes, but Rajdeep, don't you think that comparison between Akhilesh, I mean, it is obviously surfacing, but Akhilesh Yadav has also been a chief minister. Tejasvi hasn't got a chance. He hasn't won. Akhilesh, unlike Tejasvi, doesn't have that baggage, which Tejasvi is finding difficult to shed. Because with that baggage of 15 years of his, parents' regime, there was that challenge also, that Yadav constituency which comes with that, but then he's not able to expand. So do you think that that is where the challenge is?
Rajdeep, Akhilesh in 2014...
Let me make a distinction there.
Can I come in? It's not entirely correct to say that, Akhilesh in 2014 fashioned that victory for the Samajwadi Party. He went on a statewide yatra. And he's worked very hard to try. And he also came with baggages. Mulayam Singh Yadav's regime was known for this Yadavization, or for giving people with dubious records a lot of representation when it came to ticket distribution, etc. He made a conscious decision to break away. He's made a conscious decision to bring other castes into the fold, which, in my view, Tejasvi has failed to do that.
Okay. Just stay with us, Javed. Rajdeep, what we'll also quickly move...
Let me give you a...
Make your point, sir.
Let me give you an example. 2012, Akhilesh did the cycle yatra, not 2014, 2012. But there was importantly one seat where I think Akhilesh sent a message. You will recall DP Yadav was the boss man of Sambhal. And I remember Akhilesh Yadav saying, I will not give DP Yadav a ticket. It caused consternation within a large section of the Samajwadi Party, but Akhilesh held firm. And I think that those are the kind of decisions sometimes that you have to take. That you have to say, yes, I am the beneficiary of my father's inheritance, but I am going to take certain tough decisions. And some of those decisions he took in 2012, and then over those 5 years in power, consciously reached out to non-Yadav OBCs, organizing Sammelan, celebrating various leaders of other non-Yadav OBC groups. All of that helped him. He still was not able to defeat the BJP in 2017 and 2022 because the BJP also is a very, very powerful force in Uttar Pradesh. I believe Tejasvi in that sense doesn't face the same domineering BJP in Bihar. But you have to widen your base today and be seen to be doing so. One thing to his credit, he has dropped a lot of sitting MLAs. Just as friendly fights are the weakness of the
45.
Mahagathbandhan, dropping so many sitting MLAs gives them half a chance.
You're right there, and contrary to that, the BJP usually is known to, look at how they completely changed their cabinet in Gujarat and dropped the number of MLAs when they went to vote. This time around, only dropped 19 MLAs, and that could really cost them in regions like Champaran, which they had swept the last time around. But Rajdeep, you spoke about friendly fights. I just want to tell our viewers, just stay tuned. In 5 minutes, we're going to get exclusive data coming in from Vote Vibe, where we've sliced their data and got what the projection is on those 12 seats where the Mahagathbandhan is on friendly fights. Amitabh Tiwari will also be joining us on that. We're going to give that projection on those 12 friendly fight seats. But Sajjan, to bring you back in very quickly before we go to that, we've spoken about Tejasvi, but one person also that was spoken a lot, Maria and Rajdeep, this time around was Samrat Choudhary. Samrat Choudhary was hoping this election would make him into that person who would carry the BJP forth, because this is an election where the stalwart Sajjan who dominated the Bihar political landscape, it's the sunset election for them. It's also an election where the next line, which will carry forward Bihar's politics, will be bloodied in. And Samrat Choudhary was one person who thought could carry on the BJP's pitch in Bihar. That seemingly, in terms of perception, in terms of the attack from Prashant Kishor on his education qualifications, on certain criminal charges, is dented.
Not only after Prashant Kishor's attack on Samrat Choudhary, if you see, he was projected precisely on the basis of calculation of caste and numbers, because BJP, Bihar is overwhelmingly OBC dominated, OBC plus EBC dominated state. And therefore, if you have to counter RJD dominated by Yadavs, then you need to project a non-Yadav OBC who is next populous caste, that is Kushwaha's around 5 to 6% as per the old census, right? Now, therefore, Samrat Choudhary projection by BJP was an attempt to claim the OBC space, which the party is still struggling in the state of Bihar compared to the neighboring state of, say, UP, Jharkhand, and many other states. This is one. Two, if you see, Kushwahas by nature, unlike Yadavs, unlike Kurmis, unlike Paswans, have never voted across Bihar for one leader or for one party. They have been quarantined in different regions. And therefore, Samrat Choudhary since beginning had a tough task. 2024 was the time wherein Samrat Choudhary was a complete failure, because if caste is the calculus, you need to fetch your caste votes to the party you are representing if you want to claim the leadership. Now, 5-6 MP seats that BJP and NDA lost in Bhojpur, Shahabad and Aurangabad region was overwhelmingly Kushwaha significant. Kushwaha's presence was significant, and it was therein because of Kushwaha shifting to Mahagathbandhan that NDA lost. So he failed to deliver his own caste constituency to the fold of NDA, and then came Prashant Kishor. So whatever may have been the calculation by the BJP national leadership, certainly at this juncture, he stands discredited, not only in terms of personal qualification, educational qualification, but also in terms of his sheer colossal inability to transfer his community's vote to the fold of BJP and NDA. Still open to
It would be very difficult, Sajjan, from here on for a Samrat Choudhary to get, be a player of contention, of leading the BJP's charge. That's quite improbable. But so, Maria will be the second deputy chief minister who's having a very tough time in Lakhisarai.
Yes, absolutely. But Preeti, a word on Renu Devi. Rajdeep, BJP has had a woman leader in Renu Devi who comes from the backward classes, but she was not really given that place of pride. She could have been that counterweight for the Mahila voters, which always come in the name of Nitish Kumar. Do you think BJP is not investing enough in the Mahila faces that they have in their kitty?
More than Mahila, Maria, my sense is that the BJP has been unable to do in Bihar what it did in UP in terms of organically building up an OBC leadership. आप किसी को थोप नहीं सकते लीडर. Leaders have to come through the ranks, and the entire party and the existing hierarchies have to accept them. I recall in the 1990s when Kalyan Singh emerged as the #1 Neta of the BJP in UP, there was a lot of disquiet among the upper castes. You will recall how they eventually, some of them even rebelled against him, and he was virtually pushed out of the BJP. Now, the BJP has, to its credit, attempted to mandalize itself in Bihar. But for that, you need some kind of acceptance right down the line. That hasn't happened, which is why just appointing a Renu Devi as a deputy chief minister is not enough. You're going to have to accept the leadership of these individuals. That hasn't happened, and that's why Nitish and Lalu have an edge. They are regional leaders who've come through the salt of the earth of Bihar, the brothers Bihari, as my late friend Sankarshan Thakur called them in a book, and therefore they have an advantage over any leader who is brought in from above. None of the BJP leaders from the OBC communities have come from before. You're mentioning Samrat Choudhary. What's his past? He's someone who's been in the past in the RJD, has switched sides then to the JDU, and has also come into the BJP. How does he become a natural BJP leader?
Superb point, Rajdeep. Just